Oh, there is one. Oh, thank you. Can you wait for the microphone, please? Microphone.
One of my recommendations for Olney would be to become a more dedicated work service school. It's kind of mentioned in the literature. Obviously, you have to do that, especially since many of you were international students. If there was more required of you, would that be a positive thing? And if it isn't, how would you spin that? And I'm asking because I really do define work as just not labor. I think there's technological work, there's accounting work, you know, there's many ways people can contribute their gifts back. So part of that is in Olney, but when we heard from the work service colleges, it's much more significant. And I'm just curious, especially from international students, how you feel about that.
That's an excellent question.
Are you saying that international students should be asked to do more service work, or
What do you think?
all students?
Tell me if I'm wrong. What do you think of growing the work service components of the Olney experience? Increased work service components in the Olney experience. As international students, what do you think of that? Should there be more work service? Is it too much? Do you want specific types of more? It should be removed?
Work service, is that like working on the farm, or?
It could be, well, as you were describing, working on the farm, helping an older person learn to email their grandkids or download attachments of the photos. It's all about the photos. Helping with tax preparation for people who have a hard time with it. Helping maybe people who can't read the tax forms. All kinds of different things. Trash cleanup, food kitchens, working in the barn, raising goats, growing vegetables for students to eat while you're a student here. It's a lot of different things.
Oh, I think that's very good, because essentially that's what separates you from everybody else in the outside world, because to a certain extent most American schools have the same standard of education, but then those small things, that's what sets you apart, and they build character. At the time, it's not fun, like as I'm sure most of the students in the student body, I don't know if you've done the service days yet, but it's really, you don't enjoy it that much. But in the bigger picture of things, I think sometimes you have to go through things like that in order to receive a return on investment. Sometimes you have to do things that you don't enjoy just because of what they will mean in the future. And I think we also included that on our college applications, and it's extremely beneficial. And going back to the fact that this school is a college preparatory school, that's what schools want.
Yeah, can I say something? I think service work is great, because now that at my university, I am actually doing an international project lead. I'm like the international project leader, where we do service community work for, well, I'm mainly focused on the international areas, where if we have like an earthquake in Haiti, we would doing like a fundraising and to aware the problems that other countries have. And also at Drexel University, we have this community service group where we do where we help homeless people, we help the senior president. We have like a kitchen soup service thing every Sunday or Saturday, that we just serve food for the old people. I think it's good. Well, that benefits me, because whenever I apply my job, my internship anywhere else in America, I would always saying that, hey, I did service work in Olney Friends School, where I went to high school there in Ohio, and I learned such, and it really helped me to become a better person. That when you help people, you feel that if they're happy, you feel you're happy. Although sometimes it might be tiring when you're doing service work. You might be like, oh, I don't want to go. It's so early on Saturday morning. But once you're done with it and they're happy and you're happy, I think that's good. That's good that the Olney Friends School is still doing this community service. I think it's a really great way to help people.
For all the people who are going to graduate in the next year, next 4 years, when you do your college applications, the things that set you apart are the things that you did that weren't required of you. You know, the service work that you're going to do within your own community, that's what's going to get you into the program that you want to get into. So one of the things that we do with SIFE is VITA, Volunteer Income Tax Assistance, where we go out into the community and teach people how to do their income taxes. And this is very, very highly looked at when you're applying for a job, when you're applying for a school, when you're applying for a position that you wouldn't otherwise get unless you did the service work. So offering service work that other schools don't would definitely be something that would draw people to come to this school, and it would be beneficial to the community, to the school, and to the students when they want to go towards their goal.
Are there more questions for the microphones? Wait for the mic. It's coming. There you go.
In your opinion, how could Olney raise immediate monies ASAP from alumni to help alleviate the problems we're having with the economy? I have a suggestion, but I just want to hear what yours are.
From alumni, you said, yes?
I mean, the easiest way to think of it is personal donations. Or if, for example, say Lynn, who works in SAP, if she was a person that's up high on the ladder, maybe they could try and go through SAP and get some sort of education grant. But aside from that, I don't really know how else you can approach it.
If you can find anyone who would be willing to give a larger gift, frame that as a matching gift. I think people are more motivated to give when they know there's a matching gift. But you have to find that person.
And Olney does sometimes have matching gifts. I know I've given when there is a match, and I'll sometimes give a little more when there's a match. And also employers sometimes do matching. My employer might my employer won't because it's a city. I don't think it does matching local government, but employers sometimes match employee contributions, and Olney includes that in the literature. But it's excellent. Thank you. Are there more questions?
I got something to say on that. One of the things that, I mean, fundraising is the hardest thing to deal with when you're trying to keep a business afloat. Fundraising is extremely hard. So one of the things I would suggest is have the alumni, the employed alumni, have their employers sponsor something like the 3K run that we had this morning. If you have an employer that's gonna, match whatever donations that you're gonna make for the 3K run, that would be a great way to fundraise. Have events that the alumni can get their employers to sponsor, and then they can match whatever you make.
Microphone is coming. She's on her way. Thanks. Promise.
The way I give to Olney is kind of the old-fashioned way. I treat giving Olney as a bill, a monthly bill. I pay Olney just like it's the utility. It's on my bill list every month. I give monthly what I can afford. So I challenge alumni to do the same. If it's $25, if it's $50 or $100, do it monthly like a bill. And you'll be surprised on the number of years how much money you'll give to the school.
I agree with that because one of the things I did in my freshman year of college is I worked for the Phone-a-thon, which is basically telemarketing, but the present students of Deere, which is the school I go to, we call alumni and see if they'd be willing to donate to certain scholarship funds. So, I mean, there are some alumni who they are willing to give. It's just that nobody asked them. They don't keep in contact with the school. So having students here, let's say they work, they get paid to call alumni. They have a little calling center, and you call alumni and you ask them if they would be willing to donate to such and such scholarship fund or such and such fund that the school has. They will be willing to donate, and all they need to be done is asked. So.
I agree with Cedric. I think Olney should put a massive effort in following up with their alumni and what they're doing in the workplace. If I became a VP, for example, and I'm getting a high salary, if Olney calls me, I'll gladly give them money. They should also know that I'm going to quit that job because I got a CEO offer, and then know that I will still give more money because of that job. This cute.
We wish you a great deal of success in your future career.
I hope so too, so I can give back.
I really like Cedric's idea of having students call. Guilford students call me every year, and I know why they're calling. I mean, you know, it's a Guilford. Hi, I'm a student at Guilford. Okay, so I tell them up front, I'm gonna give you some money. Don't worry about it. But I do enjoy hearing what's happening on campus, and sometimes they have someone call who's in the Quaker Leadership Scholars Program, or someone who lives in the dorm I lived in, who had similar interests as me in college, and it's fun to kind of hear what's going on at Guilford.
We're at time. Perfect timing. All right. Let's give a warm round of thank you to our panelists. The next activity that's scheduled is the threshing session, which will be at, is it 4 o'clock? Where's 4:30? Oh, it's 4:15. It could not be at 4 o'clock. Okay, it's at 4:30, and it's in the gym, and it will be 1 hour. Is that right? Run for the snack.